direct and indirect, exceeded 5,000 billion dinars, not to mention the practical provisions in the fight against any form of speculation which has overwhelmed the citizen, have made it impossible or have made it possible for him to rectify the situation after the stabilization of supply operations and the availability of products. And here let me bring Mr. Choeib Boutamine for the question. How is the Algerian government going to manage funding all this substantial increase? I mean, we're speaking about increase in wages for retirees and for those who are working, for those who are idle, let's say, and jobless. The President of the Republic introduced this allocation or this allowance for them. How do you think that Algeria is going to be able to fund all this? Is it through the increase in oil and gas, let's say, budget, and say, for example, tomorrow we are not going to have the same, let's say, prices for a barrel? Is Algeria going to stick to that increases? And how are we going to pull this off, seeing the difficult economic situation the whole world is going through, Mr. Choeib Boutamine?
Okay, first of all, good afternoon, Karim, and good afternoon, all the guests. First of all, also, I want to say that the trade balance for Algeria for 2022 will shift into $17 billion as a nexus, a surplus compared to 2021. We have to highlight something. By the end of 2022, Algeria will record $56 billion, an increase of like $17 billion. We have to talk about the hydrocarbon incomes, revenues, but we need also to mention the non-hydrocarbon revenues in income. Algeria is making a very good progress. In 2021, we had $4.2 billion revenue from non-hydrocarbons. This year, we will record more than $7 billion. This is an increase of more than 60%. This is the major thing, the major achievement, I think, for this president, for new Algerian governments, that we are working in parallel. Yes, we are a little bit lucky. Oil prices and gas are increasing, but in parallel, on the other hand, we are making a lot of efforts. Algeria now is a big workshop. Let me remember you that we have Algeria launched the project of the iron mine in Gharj Bilat in Tindouf. By 2027, we'll increase the Algerian production of iron to 40 million tons per year. Algeria also is in high discussion, in advanced discussion with the African countries, Niger, Nigeria, to extend the gas pipe project from Nigeria to Europe through Algeria. We have also, we need also to mention that there is a route also is going to Mauritania, to Nouakchott, to extend the Algerian, the African dimension of Algeria. So a lot of projects are taking place. Let me highlight that a few days ago, the Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune has said that Algeria, by April 2022, Algeria will produce the table oil 100%. This is a great progress for the Algerian production. We have to highlight this. We have to mention the positive and the good things we achieve, and this is very important. So I think that the income or the revenue we are getting from oil and gas, we can exploit them for many sectors, and for social, to invest or to finance all many sectors in the country. But I wanted to shed the light on the efforts have been really done on non-hydrocarbon. So I think that Algeria by 22, 23, 24 has very big projects in parallel in oil and gas. And the president also mentioned a few days ago that Algeria's plan is to increase the export capacity of natural gas to 100 billion cubic meters per year. This is a very great achievement if we get it. I know it takes a little bit more time.
It's a little ambitious.
Yeah, it takes more time, but I think this is a very good news for Algeria, that we have the vision is we are going to invest The investment is not in oil and gas, but we see now a touchable results and touchable efforts in the ground.
So, Mr. Choeib Boutamine, the latest global crisis, mainly the energy crisis, created new opportunities for Algeria to become a stronger partner to Europe. How is Algeria going to benefit from its partnership with Europe, in particular in this field, and with Italy as well, to bring it into the light? Seeing the changes that were made and the reforms that were made within the budget bill, as Mr. Macron was talking about it earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Algeria was, since decades, a good partner for our Mediterranean, mainly Mediterranean countries. But I think there is a gap, actually. There is a market share in Europe. After getting a war inside Europe, especially the war in Ukraine. So what happened now, what happened in Europe now, there is a very large gap, and Algeria want to take parts of this market share. Let me remember that the United States became the first provider of natural gas to Europe. Qatar also is increasing by 2027, will increase its LNG export from 77 million tons actually to 126 million tons. Algeria also is willing, as the president declared, we are willing to increase our export capacity of natural gas to 100 billion cubic meters per year. This is a right, this is a market share, and we have to take part of it. I think Algeria is not taking profit of the crisis. Algeria is taking parts of what's available opportunities. There is an opportunity. This is a business, so we have to take part of this. And after the crisis in Ukraine, it really was looming for many months. Algeria responded quickly to European leaders' call to increase its natural gas supplies, and it did. Italy, by the end of 2022, Algeria will provide approximately 27 billion cubic meters of natural gas, and this is a record.
Yes.
A few days ago, the CEO of Sonatrach, the national company, hydrocarbon company, declared that today Algeria is providing more than 97 million cubic meters of natural gas per day. If we keep going with this cadency, we will reach like 35 billion cubic meters per year. This is a great achievement in a very short time. And this is a good partnership. This is a good cooperation. And this is a sign how Algeria is responding in a very good time to alleviate and to lighten the burden the Europeans, our, let's say, colleagues, our neighbors in Europe are living today. As you know, I think that Europeans today were a little bit lucky because with the milder temperatures, so the temperature didn't drop quickly as expected. So they are more in comfortable situation. Even the storage of natural gas are exceeding 90%. So they are in very, let's say, a good condition compared to what we were expecting in summer. I think that Algeria has a lot of projects, as I said before. There is a project maybe will be take place in next month and years from Nigeria to Algeria to extend, to increase the capacity of natural gas export to Europe. Algeria is also, Sonatrach declared that it will invest $40 billion in the next 5 years. This is a respond, this is an answer, and to make is showing Algeria today it's a trusted partner and a reliable partner to its European allies. I think this is a good engagement from Algeria to ensure and to make sure its partners that we are willing to increase our supplies to Europe, and we are here to work for a win-win cooperation. And I think that Algerian president is willing to visit Russia in the upcoming next month. I think that Algeria is keeping the same distance with Italy, with Germany, with the United States, and even with China, with Russia. This is a good thing in the Algerian policy that we
preserving neutrality.
Exactly. So we are keeping the same distance, and this is a sign of a good lead. This is of a leadership.
Very nice.
So okay.
Let me bring